We are now going to continue and begin creating our example for chapter 3. We're going to come up and we're going to close out of this 2D sketch by left clicking on Finish Sketch. Now we want to begin a new 2D sketch, and we want this to begin on the plane that would represent a top view. So we're going to select the plane that you see shown here, and I'm going to left click. Now in this example, what happens is you'll notice up here that when it opened this sketch, it spun the product around to where we're looking down on the object, but the front view happens to be right here. The right side happens to be over here on the left, and the back is at the bottom. So we're going to draw this object. It asks us to draw a rectangle, so we're going to draw a rectangle. And now we're going to dimension this. The bottom part is going to be dimensioned at 75. I'm going to zoom out. The side is going to be dimensioned at 50. And again, I'm going to zoom out to where I can see this size rectangle, and I'm going to finish the sketch by clicking on the green check mark. Now when we come back out, you'll notice that it spun around, and now our front view is back where it would be. I'm going to zoom all to bring this out, and now we need to extrude this object a distance of 15. So I'm going to come up, left click on extrude. I'm going to come down and I'm going to pick my center, and I'm going to set my distance that I want to 15, and I'm going to click OK to finish, and I'm going to zoom out. Now in the textbook, it asks us to select the surface that's at the bottom of this object, so we can get there in several ways. I'm going to get there by coming and clicking on what I know is the front view, and it will turn this around. Then I'm going to drop down to the arrow underneath, and I'm going to click on it, and that gives us the surface that we want to pick to make our circle. So I'm going to come up and select 2D sketch. I'm going to pick the surface. Now we want to draw a circle, so I'm going to left click on circle. Then I'm going to pull out and I'm going to right click my mouse, and you will notice that it lets me select point snaps, and I'm going to pull over and left click on midpoint, and I'm going to come to this side, and you'll notice that when I get to the midpoint it turns green, circle, and I'm going to pull it out after I select it to the end point. And now what I've done is I've identified the midpoint of this object, and I've selected to end it at the end of the edge of this rectangle. Now this should be a 50 diameter circle, so we're going to check the dimension by dimensioning, and you'll notice that it's 50. And we get a comment that comes up, adding this dimension will over constrain the sketch. Choose accept to create a driven dimension. We're not going to accept it. We're going to cancel it. We just wanted to make sure that we had selected the center point of the side of the rectangle and ended it at the end of the corner of the rectangle, so that we had a circle of 50 diameter. Now we're going to finish the sketch. We're going to come out and we need to extrude this, so I want to be able to see this so that I can know that I'm raising it up properly. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to turn it up and set it at an angle. Now I'm going to come up and pick extrude, and I'm going to come into the profile that I want and select it. It wants to go downward, so I'm going to have to change the direction. And this is to be extruded to a height of 40 millimeters. You notice that when I did it at first, it cut it out. I didn't pay attention when I changed directions, so I'm going to come up to my undo create arrow, and I'm going to undo. It takes me back one step. Now I'm going to come back into extrude. I'm going to pick the surface again, change direction, and you'll notice that it's automatically moved to cut. Now what I need to do is I need to come up to the join and left click to make it join, and now you'll notice the profile is pointing upwards, and I need to make sure that this is set at 40, and I'm going to click OK. We're going to continue in our next lesson. If you have questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.